the temptation was.
And see, like, I don't want to think about that stuff at all, but it's like if I get numb, what can motivate you when you're numb, you know?
That's just me though. Where you're at in there.
Well, I'm gonna move, I think.
Where are you gonna sit?
I'll pull one of these chairs.
I was thinking we could point it, like it points down, maybe at us.
What's up?
So, very interesting stuff. Yeah, he see that. Oh wow. So Satan tempted him with all the kingdoms of this earth, which is something that's already his.
Yeah.
But he tempted him to do it without going through the pain.
But he knew it was his. That's the thing, like he knew well what his mission was and what it was going to be doing afterwards.
But not enough to where it was kind of like he was tempted. It's like bow down and serve me. What he was saying was, what Satan was saying was, bow down and do it your way.
Yeah.
It wasn't Satan. Satan is
There you go.
It's our ego.
Yeah.
It's the serpent that comes up and says, ooh, you know, you're gonna this, you're gonna that. It's about you.
Yeah. Yeah, that verse about him being tempted by Satan, I always imagine that as being something inside of him, not something coming up and talking to him.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. Just like he said, if you know, speak to these stones and turn them into bread.
Yeah.
But he's like, but if my daddy didn't tell me to do that.
Right. Right.
And that's what Satan was coming up and said, but you're God, but you're daddy, you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, the evil inclination is here for our benefit.
Yeah. You know what the Kabbalists say about that?
What?
It's like you have to take all the energy of the evil inclination and do the exact opposite. You can't just ignore it because it's too much energy, so it's not efficient.
So you put it into something.
Right. So like they say, if your exactly, if your evil inclination is lashon hara, you don't fight it by stop talking. You just use all that energy to speak good. Exactly.
Wow, what lessons these things are.
Yeah.
He is. If we just let him flow, he'll teach us.
Yeah.
We just have to be in his presence. And that's the problem is when we're in our flesh, we can't be.
Yeah.
But sometimes we can bring him into the flesh. And that's where he wants to live, here with us.
Yeah.
To make the two one.
Yeah. That was a very hard thing for me to accept. I was the exact opposite. I just wanted to be pure spirit and, no flesh. And then I actually read this Kabbalistic thing that said that's like the definition of Luciferianism, when you don't want to bring it down to the earth, when you want to keep it up there, basically for yourself.
Yeah. And that's what we do have to bring it down and out into the world.
Yeah.
And see, everybody wants to hold it in, but well, you get your, cast your pearls before swine, and
yeah. I'm thinking, you want to dwell down here? And it's like, but he does because he feels love, and he wants this is the feminine polarity.
And that's the cool thing, is because then he blesses us here like his bride, his queen, his royalty.
Yeah.
And then he comes in and he's like, I'm going to do this for you, and I'm going to do that for you, and I'm going to, because I'm king.
Yeah.
And you're walking around and you're kind of like, wait a minute. My king, my father, my spouse, my other side created all this and owns all this. And then you realize that it's all him.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we're gonna bring this peace thing in until nothing will work until every single person walks in his presence.
Yeah.
That's when the total kingdom comes.
Right. And that's what people have to be taught, not how to learn books, how to be with him.
What they're being taught is how to act like either people.
Yeah.
And what they need to do is learn how to act like themselves.
Yeah. That's what Rob Drawer is always teaching.
Yeah. And that's why, maybe you'll meet her while she's here, while we're here.
Who?
Some moms I know here that very special. Anyway, they're special in the kingdom. It's just interesting how it all connects, and because of them, they connected me with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I got to meet the man. Judith was following her, and I was following Judith.
Yeah.
And we got up to the mikveh, where I got to meet the Russian Cohen
That's
that prophesied to me.
That's what mom means in Hebrew. They're the ones who glue the house together.
It keeps it together. It is the house.
Yeah.
There is no house, but if I didn't have my wife, I wouldn't have a house.
Yeah. You'd just be out on your wild adventures. Your house would be in your backpack.
Yeah, whatever. I wouldn't have a house. I wouldn't have a place to lay my head.
Yeah.
That's what he kept telling me when I was here before. Because I have no place to lay my head.
Yeah, because his bride's not faithful.
I have no place to lay my head, he said. Be in us. Be in us. Thank you, Abba. We will be your house. Lay your head in us. Be our King. Be our glory. See, that's what those people don't understand. He's teaching us by spirit how this stuff's working, and he's trying from the mechanical side to look at each part and take it apart.
Yeah.
And take the car apart and figure out how it works. You know, what's already been made, but what I'm trying to say is the maker of all of it. He knows it all.
Yeah. Well, you know, the only ones who are going to know how to take the car apart is the true Jews, because that's their job, being the head.
Well,
There is a masculine way in the science of Kabbalah that it can be explained.
Right.
But people are afraid of it.
Well, sacred geometry is evil and all that kind of, yeah, it's pagan, whatever. They just go into all this because it's supposed to be kept secret to them in that sense.
It's true.
And that's why this is all happening the way it's happening. But at the same time, he's bringing his bride home, and they need to receive her.
Yeah.
Because it's their bride.
Yeah.
It's their bride.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
I know. There's 10 of us to every one of you. Yeah, we are supposed to. And so they know it. They've heard it. That's why that Jew kid goes, "Get on your knees and kiss my tzitzit," or something like that. You know, like. Dude, I would, but I'm Elijah. Aren't you supposed to do that? Shouldn't you be doing that upwards? I have no problem doing that if he would be a true Jew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he couldn't receive me for who I was. And he wanted me to receive him for who he thought he was.
Right.
The promise. That is just a promise to them that they know it. We're getting it out of spiritualness.
Yeah.
I'm being taught all this stuff spiritually.
Yeah.
You see me, I don't read.
Right.
I'm getting taught spiritually. I'm being taught by him. That's why he wanted to raise up the fools. That's why I told Elam yesterday. I said, well, you don't get to be the fool, do you? I get to be the fool who confound the wise.
Right.
And that's what I did to him right here. He didn't understand.
Yeah.
Because I understand deeper things. He understands the books and he's trying to mentally put it all together.
Yeah.
And make it all work. You know, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
It is like going to the junkyard and putting a 747 together. Trying to put a 747 together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's anyway, what I'm trying to say is the cool thing is he's teaching us the doorways. And that's what I was trying to tell him about. The east gate is up here.
Yeah.
You praise him. He literally comes in to the doors and our gates. Comes into the temple. Inside and outside. Just as it is above, it's below. It's within us.
Yeah.
But we have to receive him deep enough within us that it overcomes and pushes our flesh out. But the amazing thing is, all those pleasures of the flesh that we deny are something to give us heavenly pleasures.
Yeah.
But then they get used together.
Yeah.
I see they get used together. In the kingdom coming, it's about both worlds living as one.
That's what the Kabbalists talk about with food in the book of Genesis, because like when it's Jacob, when he wants to bless his kids, he's like, I need food to do it. And it's like, so they talk
You need
about,
to eat.
yeah, they talk about using the physical things to reach certain spiritual states, because they go together.
Of course. As above, so below. So whatever opens up the under realms in ourselves gives way to add light to.
Yeah.
It's our roots. You have to grow deep roots to grow deep tree. This is cool. I love when he's I love when he's here. Do you feel it?
Yeah. I'm still blocking him off though.
Why? You want to be in the flesh.
Well, no, it hurts. It hurts to let him in. He's just alive.
He gives us both. The pain is to bless us.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how.
How to bless you?
Yeah, well, like just for me specifically.
Well, it's a contrast. Think about contrast.
No, I mean, I
in
get
art.
that, but I'm just saying it's like
No, just think of it
No.
in art, how much contrast. If there's this much contrast, this much, say if you started using all the colors,
yeah.
what beautiful garments you could make.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I feel pleasure in him, but I've been getting so much rebuke lately that it's hard because it's like all my times in the past feeling pleasure in him, it's like, wow, I was in so much sin anyway. It's like, how do I find pleasure now?
Yeah, I know. I totally, I get you. I totally understand. But I know it's just like any relationship. Any relationship is like that. Until you know how to live together as one and be in total trust. And that's what faith is. Is trusting in the other person's not going to hurt you on purpose. Because what love does is love makes you vulnerable.
Yeah,
That's why he's the most vulnerable of all.
That's very hard for me.
How can God be so vulnerable?
Yeah.
He was trying to show me that, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I go, there's no way you're vulnerable. You can't be. But that's what feelings are.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to love is willing to be hurt.
Yeah.
And so that's what's hard. We don't want to because we're afraid of being hurt. So we block it off and become a stone.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi. Yeah.
But he's turning these stones into flesh.
I don't want to be flesh.
But he's doing it to give us great joy.
Yeah.
Because there's some joys that you can only experience in the flesh. Oh my God. He's teaching me. There's some things that are here. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is he wants to experience these things here with us. That's it. So disobedience is just not listening to him.
Yeah.
So if we walk and just listening, it will it'll bring us into great joys. And that's when you start to see, it's like, oh my gosh, everything. Even this evil inclination of wanting to eat this sinful food that I shouldn't eat, but I did anyway. Because my flesh wanted it. But when you can do that, being free because he told you to do it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Then it's an enjoyment. It's a guilt-free pleasure. If he's in it, if he's the one.
Yeah. So when you say sinful food, you're not talking about something not kosher. You're talking about like something not healthy, right?
Yeah, I haven't done the not kosher thing yet.
Okay. I'm just, since we're on camera, I don't want people thinking you're.
I know I haven't done the unkosher thing yet, but as soon as I got here, I had I went to a pastry shop.
Yeah.
We got pastries. Here I was, I didn't even eat gluten on the plane. And as soon as I got here, I'm like, yeah, I felt. No, I had gluten. And I've been paying for it. You know? So, anyway, what I'm trying to say is, that's why he gave us these things. Was to teach us. Even the tree of knowledge of good and evil, we're all, that's evil, that's evil. It's, if he tells you to eat it,
Yeah.
then you eat it.
Yeah.
Because it would be witchcraft not to.
Yeah.
So, this is the whole thing that, and it scares everybody because everybody's at different levels.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeshua was considered a sinner and a demonized.
Yeah. And a glutton and a drunkard.
And a glutton too.
Mm.
He was considered all those things.
Because they believe in no pleasure. And his big thing was like, no, you have to feel pleasure, but in the Father. But pleasure is important.
Yeah, people think wine. How can a little bit be okay, but too much be evil? And it's like it's all anything. The truth is, anything you do outside of his will is evil.
Mm.
Is witchcraft.
Yeah.
Because he's flat out said things for me to do, and I thought there's no way. You know what I mean? I go, that can't be God. That's not him. That's not. And I've called him evil. I've called him the devil many times.
Yeah.
I have. It's because all of lack of understanding.
Yeah.
because my little mind couldn't understand that, oh, Kabbalah might not be evil.
Yeah.
Or this or that. I don't know, it's a crazy walk. This waking up thing.
Yeah.
And you start to realize yeah, it all has a purpose. It all has a purpose. It's all to teach us how to grow, how to abstain from what we want.
Yeah.
And so the truth is, all of Christianity, we thought we had a freedom to do what we wanted.
Yeah.
And, well, that goes back to the story. You've heard me talk about when I came here one year, it was Shavuot one year. And I said to him, I said, why is everything you're teaching me is different than what they teach me up there, what the pastors teach and all that. Why is it so different?
Yeah.
And he goes, it's like this, son. He says, you have 2 sons. I said, yes. He says, imagine one of them was far away from you. And couldn't reach you anymore. And you didn't have the strength to go reach them, kind of thing.
Mm.
So you sent your other son to go get him. But I had to take away from that other son, but you sent your other son to go get him. And he says, well, imagine sending your son with a red debit card with the funds and the means to get you home. Because obviously, the son doesn't have the means to come home.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling all this. He's just sharing with me in a way that I can understand. You know what I mean? He's just sharing me his feelings.
Yeah.
And what he showed me was the son gave the card to the brothers.
Yeah.
Let's say plural, but it's basically to Ephraim,
Yeah.
to the prodigal son.
Yeah.
Gave him the card how to come home. And what he said to me was, they took the card, and instead of coming home, they painted the town red with his blood, basically.
Yeah.
And I just kept seeing visuals of things like the blood was actually the barbecue sauce on the pork that was covering the sin. Now we can eat it. Oh, no, this is so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is all the pleasures of the world. We could do this now because, he died for us to be able to do this. Daddy's our daddy. We're in. We got the credit card. We got daddy's card.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to come see daddy.
Yeah.
They didn't want to come home. And this is what hurts the father. This is what hurts the father. He said he paid with the other son's blood. He paid with his own blood.
Yeah.
But it was to come home. And they're not. They're painting the town red with his blood. They're covering all the sin with his blood. Saying it's all covered now. Look, we can do anything we want.
Yeah.
We can party here on this earth. And that's where it goes, where they believe more of the do what thou wilt.
Yeah.
Satan. Rather than do the Father's will.
Yeah.
See, Yehoshua was tested.
Yeah.
They say, is he the Father? No, the Father was in him.
Yeah.
Just like everybody has the potential to have the Father in them.
Right.
But he's the first in the mold, and he is our King. It's him that we marry that gets us to the Father.
Yeah.
There's no way to the Father but through the Son.
Yeah.
But they showed him the way. And oh my goodness, I see this big plan. The marriage. That's what it was for. That's the big party, is because some of those, let's take it from the one son to be now Ephraim, now to be the prodigal son, now to be that took his inheritance and went and wasted it on hookers and the pleasures of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You understand how this whole thing's working?
Mm-hmm.
We were following after liberty, the Statue of Liberty, the whore of Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
We followed after our material pleasures. We became Americans to get off.
Yeah.
To not be under anybody's control or rule.
Mm-hmm.
We were following after Ashtoreth. That's who her goddess is. That's the goddess of America, Babylon. Of the whole system. Of this whole Babylonian religious system that is the Catholic Church, and and their tentacles that go down from there, and the whole religious systems of the Jews of the synagogue of Satan ones that want to have power and whatever, and they use all these things as powers. See, they had the secrets, but they weren't entering.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't allowing others to enter, but they were still had powers on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, listen to that tone. Where's that coming from? Is it there?
Mm-hmm.
I hear it coming from over there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All these tones and things are just, this is so beautiful.
Whatever it was, it caught my ear, my left ear. It felt like an electric shock inside.
There's something, anyway. Yeah, it's power. It was a powerful tone.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very healing tone. Until we all, and this is what Jerusalem's going to be. Honestly, I don't know what's going on here. All I know is water, blood, and fire must make it holy. Spiritual, physical. I don't know how it's all working. But what I'm seeing is this marriage. Oh, going back to the prodigal son. It's this marriage taking place. From the dawn of creation, it was a story. He declared this to find love. That was the whole thing. Was to find love, and we had to find love only by separation. Because we don't know what we have until we're separated from it. And that's what the fall is. But now that prodigal son says, at least I could be the least in the kingdom. Maybe I'll just come groveling back. And it's a pride thing. But it wasn't until we had to grovel in pain and sin and suffering to know that we were unholy and that we need to come back to the Father. We need to come back to the Father. He just told me, he goes, that's why you're Elijah. You bring my children home. I don't know how to do it, Abba. I don't know how to do it. And all I can do is share what I'm going through right now so that other people can learn what it's like to become a son. Literally. you do what you don't want to do. Out of love. It's always the test. It doesn't make them easy. But you do what you do out of love. Yehoshua was tested with the kingdoms so that he wouldn't have to go through the pain and suffering that his daddy had planned for him. That's what it was he was trying to say. Have your kingdom now. Don't go through the pain and suffering. Turn that rock into a piece of bread and eat it and enjoy. Wow. That's what the test was. We want to stay here in our pleasures and seeking after worldly pleasures, like the prodigal son going on away. It says he wasted the money on hookers, earthly pleasures, or go through the suffering that he has planned for you, knowing that the love on the other side fulfills all those needs anyway. He's going to get his kingdom. He's got his kingdom out of love now. If he would have had the kingdom before, he wouldn't have had the compassion because of the pain. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the whole Buddha story too. Until Buddha had to come out and learn to live with the sinners, the darkness, the evil, the dead, the sick, the poor, and sit under a tree. He didn't find enlightenment until he had experienced the negative side. Is that what's coming for us? What do you want me to say, Abba? I know I'm putting myself at risk for persecution every time I come here. But I just want His will to be done now. So if He has me speak up, I have to say whatever He has me say. Father, as long as you're with us, who could be against us? Whatever do to our flesh, see, if we are the witnesses, nothing can touch us. Fire will be coming